Edition. Brad Pomerance here in the San Gabriel Valley, joined by Scott Svonkin. He is the president of the Los Angeles Community College District, 9 colleges in that entity, but also a member of America's College Promise Board.
Right.
What is America's College Promise?
So America's College Promise is the free community college initiative that President Obama announced 2 years ago in his State of the Union.
Right.
And he put together 30 people, leaders across the nation from all different groups, to be the advisory board to help move that agenda of creating college promises across the nation, lobbying Congress and state legislators, and organizing to help communities build promise programs in every city in the country.
And let's talk about that, because the former president, when he did that, he traveled to that very, very blue state of Tennessee. I'm being a little facetious because Tennessee is known as a very conservative state, and yet Tennessee offers free community college.
Yes.
So arguably, this could be seen as a nonpartisan issue.
It is. The College Promise, while we're doing it in LA and we're the first
we'll
city,
get there.
we're the first major city in the country to do this, they've done it in cities all across the nation.
Chicago.
They've done it in Tennessee, they've done it in lots of communities. And Tennessee was one of the first. And the interesting thing is community college is universal. There are community colleges in every community, whether Republican or Democrat. And they are, because community colleges are the pathway to jobs.
And let's talk about that, because during the presidential campaign, the president said that he wanted to create more manufacturing jobs. He wanted to bring back manufacturing jobs from China, from Mexico. If that happens, we're going to need skilled labor. Who educates those types of individuals?
Well, the best place to do it is the community colleges.
Right.
There are for-profit colleges that do some of those things, but the best place, the most affordable and the fastest and the most accessible are community colleges.
So, look, it's very early in the new president's term. So the question becomes, you know, he didn't speak directly community college, but he also didn't speak broadly about higher ed. I mean, we know he talked about revoking DACA in terms of Dreamers, but that's really a side issue. What can you do to leverage his positive rhetoric about skilled jobs to the benefit of community colleges?
Well, we're going to go to Washington, D.C. as we have during the Obama administration, and we're going to engage the administration.
Right.
We're going to take to them the story of our students and how we take people that are needing a second chance, that may have dropped out of high school. We're going to take people like that and give them a path to getting a better job. And we're going to show the administration that the best way for them to invest and create good jobs so people can support their families, so that they have access to healthcare, quality healthcare, is to employ them. The best method, the best opportunities come from training at community colleges.
Now, when President Obama proposed this free community college effort, he talked about the federal government paying 75% up to $2,500 a year, and the states would pay the rest. That's about $60 billion over 10 years. I'm not convinced that either the Trump administration or the Republican Congress would be interested in that plan, although maybe now that they rule the roost, they would be. I mean,
well, I think we have to just look at, we need some funding, but we also need opportunities to help our students connect with employers. And I think bringing together partnerships, every one of the partnerships we've built over the last few years at the LA Community College District had business at the table, labor at the table. So you have to put together pathways where you train them and they get jobs. And I think the administration will be open to funding things that make it possible for the people to get jobs. And this is going to be about job training, not about free anymore.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about this in a different way. I still support, and we're going to try to make it community college free for Los Angeles. That's our goal in LA.
And let's talk about the LA College Promise, because that is a reality.
It is. Thanks to Mayor Garcetti and his partnership with our district, we are going to offer 7,000 probably Los Angeles Unified students free college starting in August of next year.
Right, which is good news. They'll save about $1,300. When you announced this, Dr. Jill Biden, the former second lady, was present. And the plan is expected to cost about $3 million in year one.
Correct.
I think we have funding for year one. What about beyond year one?
Well, we're working on raising the money. We're approached business leaders in Los Angeles, and I've said this before. Every business in Los Angeles who has a name on top of the building needs skilled employees,
right.
well-trained employees. So they should all give $1 million. If your name is on, if you're Wells Fargo or a company that has a name on a building in downtown Los Angeles, AECom, any firm that has their name on a building in downtown LA should donate $1 million to the College Promise, because it'll ensure that they have well-trained workers.
Right, but what about textbooks though? Because the College Promise doesn't cover textbooks. It doesn't cover rent or food or transportation. I don't mean to, be negative, but I just wonder.
So we can, as part of the Promise program, we can use funds that we have in our budget to allocate to buy books.
We can.
Yeah, we can. It's a permissible expense.
Okay.
And so one of the programs we're going to create is a fund to help these same students get their books. So the Promise is going to be more than just tuition. Tuition is only a small piece, because housing, one of the things we're looking at doing in the LA community colleges is having somebody come and rent land and build housing on our colleges, because
housing for students.
Student housing.
Is there student housing at any of the 9?
None. There, in fact, in California, there's no community college yet with student housing.
Interesting.
And students that live on campus at the CSUs and UCs, they do better than students that live off campus, because they study longer, they spend more time at the library, and they're closer to their classes. So they get there and they study and they succeed in higher numbers. So we're really proud of the fact that we're looking at how to pay for their books, how to offset their tuition, how to get their transportation covered. We're working with the MTA in LA County to make sure that we cover all the expenses related to education. Because if you graduate from a community college or transfer, we want them to be debt free.
I want to talk about your recent announcement that you are going to seek a seat on the Board of Equalization. The incumbent is termed out. It's a seat that is essentially all of LA County and parts of Ventura County. Why have you decided to look at the BOE?
Well, it is a really important next step in my career. I have been fiscally responsible on the LA Community College. We have a balanced budget. We have a 10% reserve. I've learned by being for 6 years on the board and 3 years as president, I've learned how to manage money. And one of the things you want in a BOE member is someone that is fair, honest, works hard, and can make sure all the taxes that need to be collected are.
What's interesting about the BOE is there are 4 members. And so you're running for a seat that represents
25%.
What, 9 million people?
Yeah.
How big is the LACCD district, though?
5 million.
So actually, you've done it.
I currently represent half the people I will, and it's really interesting. Between my volunteer work at a $1 billion credit union, my work as as president and then chairman of the Finance and Audit Committee, I think I'm prepared for this, and I'm really honored that 5 statewide elected officials, John Chung, who held this seat, Betty Yee, who was on the BOE, now is state controller, who's the 5th member of the BOE, and 3 other statewide electeds have all endorsed me.
You'll come back?
Happy to.
He is Scott Svonkin. He is the president of the Los Angeles Community College District. My name is Brad Pomerance, coming to you from the San Gabriel Valley on Local Edition.